Hello everybody. So today I want to talk about calculus. The topic that is about differential equations. So now I want to show you how to answer. We need to create about complementary solutions and particular solutions. So in this situation, I will need to use about Euler's, Cauchy-Euler, and this is about differential equations. And now I will put about yc equals to s to the power of n. Later that we do first derivative of yc, and we have ns to the power of n minus 1. The next one, second derivative of yc, and we have like this. And we go to third derivative of yc, and we have n multiplied by n minus 1 and n minus number 2 s to the power of n minus number 3. So in this situation, we need to consider about this equation on the left. If we look carefully, because this is about complementary solutions, so I will put this one equals to number 0. Now we have third derivative of y, so I will put this one gone here, and original function that is about this one, I will put this one gone here. So we have s to the power of 3 multiplied by this one. So we have s to the power of 3 multiplied by this one, and now we just have only s to the power of n. And we have negative 6s to the power of n equals to number 0. And now we have s to the power of n. We can do about factorization. And now we have like this. Now we need to find the solutions of n. Now we need to expand everything, and we have like this. And now we have n multiplied by this one, and this one. And now we have like this. Now we need to simplify, and we have n to the power of 3 minus 3n squared plus 2n minus number 6 equals to number 0. So we have n equals to number 3, n equals to I with the square root of number 2, n equals to negative I with the square root of number 2. So we have yc equals to c number 1, that is about the constant number 1, s to the power of number 3. Now we need to change n from here into number 3, and that's why we have s to the power of 3, c number 2, s to the power of I with the square root of number 2, and we have c number 3 that is about the constant number 3, s to the power of negative I with the square root of number 2. Now we can simplify this one, and we have like this. And this one we can put like this. Now let's go to particular solutions. So in this situation we have s where s and number 1. So I will put about yb, that is about 8 plus bs plus cs square. And we know that we have s to the power of 3. We don't need to use about s to the power of 3 in here. Now if we do first the derivative of yb, this one that is about the constant, so you got number 0. This one we have number 1, so we have b. This one we have 2s, so we have number 2 with c, and we have 2cs. Next we go to second derivative of yb. This one that is about the constant, so you got number 0. This one we have s, so we have number 1, so we have 2c. And the last one that is equal to number 0. Now we put yb gone here and number 0 gone here, so we have like this. So negative number 6, that's it from here, because we change yb into this one. So that's why we have negative number 6 multiplied by 8, negative 6bs and negative 6cs square. This one equals to number 0. We put number 0 on here, they cancel. And now this one equals to s square plus s plus number 1. So we need to compare coefficients. So everything in here equals to number 1. Negative 6a equal to number 1. Coefficient of s we have number 1. So everything in here equals to number 1. And now we can find the solutions of ABC. 8 equals to B equal to C equals to negative number 1 over number 6. So in this situation, we have yb. That should be like this. Now I will put about y equal to yc plus yb. Yc that is about this one. And yb that is about this one. Now we have the conditions. That is about this one. This one is about second derivative of y number 1 in here, not first derivative. And we know that in this situation, when we put s equals to number 1, y equals to number 1. So that should be like this. So if we put number 1 in here, we have c number 1. If we put number 1 cone here, fn number 1, you got number 0. So sine of number 0, we have number 0. Cosine of number 0, we have number 1. So we have C number 3. This one, we put number 1 gone here, and we have negative number 1 over 2. Now I will put this one go to the left, and we have 1 plus 1 over 2. We have 3 over 2 equals to C number 1 plus C number 3. Now we go to first derivative of y. So this one we have 3s squared C number 1. This one we have, so if we do first derivative of sine, we have cosine, and this one we have 1 over s. So that should be about C number 2 over s, and we have the square root of number 2. And that should be about cosine, the square root of number 2 f and s. And the next one we have negative C number 3 over s with the square root of number 2 sine of the square root of number 2 f and s. So this one we have number 0, this one we have number 1, this one we have 2s, and now we have like this. Now if we put number 1 gone here, so we have number 4. So that should be about 4 equals to 3c number 1. We put number 1, we have number fn number 1, you got number 0. Cosine of number 0, we have number 1. So we have the square root of number 2, and we have c number 2. This one we have number 0. This one in here we calculate, and we have negative 1 over 2. So I will put negative 1 over 2 go to the left, and we have 9 over 2. So we have the second equation. Now let's go to second derivative of y. So for this one, s squared, we have 2s, number 3 and number 2, we have number 6, c number 1 s. The next one, if we do first derivative, that should be like this. This one we have negative the square root of number 2 c number 2 over s squared sine square root of number 2 f and s. So this one we have positive number 2 because we have another square root of number 2. I just applied the product rule of first derivative. And the next one, And the next one, this one that is about the constant. This one we have number 1, so we have negative 1 over 3. Now we have the conditions. So if we put s equal to number 1, second derivative of y equals to number 3. So this one we have 6c number 1. This one we put number 1 going here and here. So we have Fn number 1. So you got number 0. Cosine of number 0 we have number 1. This one we have number 1. So this one we have negative with the square root of number 2, c number 2. We put number 1 going here, you got number 0, because sine of number 0, you got number 0. This one you got number 0. This one we have cosine of number 0, we have number 1. So we have negative number 2, c number 3. Negative 1 over 3, we keep the same. Now after we have this one, we put negative 1 over 3 go to the left, and we have 10 over number 3. And now we have like this. And now we have the system of equations in here. So we calculate about C1, C2, and C3. Here is the answer. C number 1, we have 65 over 66. C number 2, that is about 51 with the square root of number 2 over 66. C number 3, we have 17 over 33. After we have the solutions of C1, C2, and C number 3, we can put C1, C2, C3, go back to this one. And that should be like this. And that is the final answer we need to find in here. This is the end. Thank you for watching.